Praise the Lord, saints.
Hello.
Kellie, can you? I don't know if you need if it's just your camera or just me, but it look like you got a little smudge. You think you can wipe it? Don't please cut your camera off first, because you be liking to get up and flash us and stuff. Please.
You're worried about her, but I'm in boxers right now. I'm in boxers almost every week.
Right, but you don't stand up and flash us almost every week.
Yeah. I don't even have kids, but I went full dad mode by the time I hit like 39. It's like the first thing I do when I get home is take my pants off. That's the very first thing.
I've been doing that.
Yeah. I never did that ever, but yeah.
I've been doing that for years, forever.
Well, then you should have told me earlier. What do you want me to tell you?
Listen, more than just my pants. Come on.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I put a shirt on for this. I just threw a shirt on.
So you normally in the boxers and the hat, or is it the hat?
No hat.
Oh, gotcha.
No hat. It's just the boxers and socks. That's it. Boxers and socks.
Gotcha.
Feet get cold.
I hate socks.
Well, they hate you too. They told me earlier.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fine.
J. Ron, you good to go? I don't think she can hear us. Janessa, can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. All right. Everybody set?
What we talking about?
The topic from last week that we never got to.
Does the devil target PKs more than others?
I thought you were going to talk about some jacket or something.
Why you say it like that? like I came over here like for some fashion advice or something. I thought you were talking about something.
We have a fashion segment before the topic.
No, I mean I was saying we could just talk about that whenever. I mean I just was bringing it to the group, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I didn't know if that was a whole topic or like a little 10-minute segment.
I just put it in there and just see what y'all thought. If we never talk about it, I'll be okay with that as well. So,
okay.
Yeah. All right. Y'all ready? Let's do it. Boom shaka.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.
Gone already. Just both of them gone. See, this is why you can't allow women in the military. You know, it's just they leave their stations in the middle of their.
Women are already in the military. Who are you talking about?
I know, and that's why I'm saying it's wrong.
Okay.
I thought I was going to beat the intro.
You don't leave your post until you're relieved. That's a general order.
Okay. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Worst Ones podcast. This is the platform for preachers' kids who come and be themselves. My name is Rudy Wilson. I'm a preacher's kid. We got J. Rihanna in the building. She's a preacher's kid. Terry Wayne, he's a PK. Kellie Leezy, she's a PK. Gang's all here. How's everybody doing? Let's start with you, Terry. You seem excited today. Happy?
No, just feeling good. Feeling good today. No, I had a good weekend, a good week. A lot of kind of like a goodbye party for a bunch of guys I've known since middle school.
Goodbye for you or for them?
For me, because I'm moving. Right. Yeah. Right. And then my new bride, her grandmother turned 94.
Okay.
Wow, that's
Happy birthday, Granny.
Yeah, had a little birthday party for her up in Jensen Beach. She requested specifically that I cook for her.
Okay.
So I made some Mediterranean stew because she wanted seafood. And I went all out. Like it was clams and mussels and fresh cod fillets and shrimp and lobster tails and like, oh yeah, we did the whole deal.
What's the difference between a Mediterranean stew and just say, like a crab boil or gumbo or I guess anything else?
Well, the Mediterranean stew is just like it says, it's from the Mediterranean. So this would be originated, this kind of soup/stew. First of all, it's not like a boil.
Right.
It's like a soup/stew.
Right.
But fishermen in the old days from Italy and France and Brazil or Spain, Italy and France and Spain that fished in the Mediterranean, when they got back, they would sell all the good things, and then whatever they had left over, they'd bring home, and your wife or whoever would make it into a nice thing. And it's a tomato-based, tomato and fish stock-based soup, and it's very delicious, I'll be honest with you. And you can throw whatever you want to in it, seafood wise, because again, it comes from whatever you had left over. But because it's 94, you got to go all out for 94. So we threw some lobster tails in there, some fresh shrimp, some cod fillets, and some mussels and clams, and a whole bunch of stuff. So,
are those Mediterranean, I guess, items as well, or you okay.
Yeah, the lobster I threw in just because she specifically requested lobster, but
right,
no,
right.
you wouldn't typically get lobster in the Mediterranean, but everything else you could.
Gotcha.
Normally that's called like a fisherman's stew,
right?
So where there would be squid, right? Like chopped up calamari. Instead of doing that, I subbed it out for lobster instead.
Gotcha. That's what's up.
Hey, all that matters is she had 2 bowls. She was very happy with it. Everybody seemed to be very excited about it. So
yeah, it sounds good.
Mission accomplished on my part. So
yeah, no, it sounds good. I mean, I like a good seafood anything. So
hey, man, it's 20 minutes.
Gotcha.
20 minutes.
How is married life going, Terry?
I love married life right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving my wife. I feel like I love her more now than I ever have before. So
each day your love grows deeper.
No, but I've had a lot of bad. Days are just days. But we've had a lot of stressful times so far. We're still dealing with my dad's ailment. We're trying to move. We're trying to do all this stuff, and the more hardships and the more troubles we find ourselves in, the more I find myself loving her, because she's exactly the partner I need to go through times like that. When she's weak, I'm strong. When I'm strong, she's weak. It's perfect.
It's beautiful, Terry.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, where does your dad? Excuse me. Where does your dad live?
He lives about 20 minutes down the road from me.
And you're moving further away from him. Okay.
Well, yeah, because he's going to be moving a little further north, about an hour from here. But that's going to allow him and his wife to spend every night together, as opposed to, because the way it is now with her work, she was spending 3 or 4 nights a week up there to do her work and then coming back down. But with him being the way he is and getting, being more in need of assistance, it was just kind of decided that, like, and he's a prideful guy. He's independent, always conquered the world by himself. He didn't really need anybody else. And now he's getting to that point where, he's having to say, like, okay, you're right. I'm going to need some help here. And, and by doing that, that's going to make everything a lot better. So he'll spend a few months, he'll spend the majority of time down here, obviously, with his wife, but then he'll come up and spend 4 or 5 months with me and my sister up in Nashville. So we're getting it worked out.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's going to be all right. He's got a good safety net around him.
I know it.
Every which way. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Janessa.
Janessa.
How are you?
All right. Just very tired. It's been a busy week. I actually had a guest stay with me, and her name is Janessa too. Spelled the exact
Like,
same
his name
way.
is what?
Huh?
Okay. I'm about to say his name is what?
No, her name is Janessa.
I guess that would be a guess, huh?
And so that was kind of fun and weird, calling somebody else my name, and yeah, but it was a good time. And
Call me by your name.
And why was this guest there? Like, what? This you Airbnb or what happened here?
Oh no! She's one of my friends. We just have the same name.
Oh, gotcha.
So she was in town for a little bit, so that was fun. And then I had a paint and sip at my house with some of my high school friends, which is a good time. And then I had my speaking engagement yesterday at Georgia Tech. That was a good time.
I saw the pictures.
Well,
now what were you pointing at on the plaque? Was that your name? I couldn't see.
Yeah, I received the Rhett Bridges Fellowship Award when I was an undergraduate, and that research led me to my publication. If anybody ever wants to read up on that,
you said
so.
Who Bridges?
Huh?
You said who Bridges?
Rhett Bridges. He's a senator, or he was. I don't know if he's still in office, but
I ain't gonna. I thought you were talking about Ruby Bridges.
Oh no. So they have a plaque in the Earth and Atmospheric Science department with my name on it. And I haven't seen it, so that was my first time seeing it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it with us.
And congratulations.
A little Black history for y'all.
Well, I want to go back to the paint and sip. Can we see the finished product? Is that on your Instagram? I want to see the finished painting.
I will go get the painting. It's not done. We realized when we opened it.
I'm about to say doing too much sipping.
No. So when we opened it, we realized that this was an advanced kit, right? And we needed child's kit. Okay, we needed watercolors. So we worked from 2:30 p.m. to about 7 p.m. And I will show you how much got done. Y'all can go to Kellie and I'll go get it. And
Bob Ross will make you oil painting in like 35 minutes. I watched him on PBS.
Everybody's not capable, able-bodied.
I'm not.
It's not their ministry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kellie. How are you doing?
I can't paint, draw. I'm no one to judge. I can't do nothing.
I do enjoy a good paint and sip, but most times I sip more than I paint. And by the time you're done, you sip so much that you don't even really care what the paint looks like. Right. And it actually turns out to be decent.
That's not the point of it. It's not the point. The point
Kellie's like, we supposed to be painting here?
Yeah.
Right.
We're having a good time.
It's not the point of any of it.
Paint and sip.
Terry, you might want to go out and come back in. Your connection went pretty shitty for something.
We got the paint and sip back.
Oh, here we go.
Not much.
I'm about to say that if you would have told me that was done, I would have believed you. Like,
I said that it might just be like this and be abstract.
I thought it was supposed to be abstract.
Look good.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
Oh no! I didn't know you were painting like an extra from Black Panther.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
now it looks incomplete.
No, but I like the one that she painted more than the one that she showed me. To be honest.
I ain't gonna say all that, but I did like.
I like that better. No, I'm just saying I do. I love
the abstract.
More to the imagination.
I love the abstract.
I thought it was the Statue of Liberty for a second because
I did too. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, did you?
My friends, we all think it looks like Tiana Taylor.
I was trying to figure out who that was. I'm like, who is that?
Yeah, she do like Tiana Taylor. Yeah, she like Tiana Taylor. Little Tiana and Pocahontas blend.
My hand to God, I like Janessa's version better. I wish you just keep it like that.
Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
Terry, but you do need to leave and come back.
Okay.
But no, I'm doing well. I have been celebrating and eating and drinking my life away this last week. I had my mom's birthday, Valentine's Day. I had my guy friend's birthday, Valentine's Day. I had my dad's birthday, Friday.
Come on, guy friend that got mentioned twice on the podcast. Okay, guy friend.
Who coming through? I just left them. Oh, well, Terry not even on. Open and closing my car door.
Y'all went to the gym together, or you skipped the gym?
He is a track coach.
That ain't what I. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I went to his track practice today, and so while he was working with the kids, I did a little walk around the track.
Okay. Is that sufficient with what you normally do in the gym?
No, this was a active recovery day.
I got you. Just don't get too comfortable. Don't start missing your little workouts for your little your little track dates. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
So I did those Monday, Tuesday, and again after a week of eating and drinking and celebrating my life, celebrating the lives of others.
Right.
It was tough.
I got you.
But yes, but no. So I'm happy. I'm good. My little the preacher's kid in me, the church girl in me, lit up today. So I told you I went to his track practice, and at the end of practice, they clap it up and whatever y'all athletes do at the end, have a little thing. And he does the 4 through 7-year-olds for track, and he asked for prayer. Who wants to say the prayer? And so to see all of these little kids, me, I want to pray. Oh my gosh, my whole little heart melted. And then for them to come up and pray, one girl said, "Jesus, I just."
She came in hot.
I just came in on the blasphemy. I didn't hear anything else.
It was beautiful. Like, it made my whole little heart melt. So like I said, it was good, and I was like, I didn't know you prayed after practice. And he was like, you got to train them young. I'm gonna say amen.
Where can we at least know where you met him? We ain't got to go to the full story of how and just
homecoming. So he went to Morehouse.
Okay, gotcha. No.
Yep.
Well, shouts out to him. Sounds like a good guy already.
Yeah.
I like how y'all be cause Terry do this too. Like, y'all will cut y'all camera off and then move around a lot, and we can hear what you're doing.
Can't hear you.
Right? We can hear you, but even though we can't see you, so I be having to mute y'all.
I learned.
I'm a mute while I eat my salad.
I'm going camera off, I'm going mic off too. I'm ghosting completely. I learned.
No, it's all good.
Rudy gave me enough crap. I learned about it.
What Kellie did, was that it? So that was all your. Okay.
So I'm good.
Gotcha.
Can't complain. Work is crazy, but work is always crazy. But life otherwise is great.
Gotcha.
I had one more thing that I forgot to mention that you guys might want to mention, since we promote my book on here every week. I feel it prudent to mention that we've talked about Christian movies on here so many times before, and how I have such disdain for them. I am currently adapting my novel into a Christian movie script.
Hey, look at God.
And try to try to adapt it into a script that's actually believable and might do some good, rather than just make everybody's eyes roll back in the back of their head.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Congrats.
Yeah, that's the new project.
Congratulations.
I will declare this today.
Sure. Declare it.
Before I leave this podcast,
mm-hmm.
I will read at least a third of your book.
At least a third.
And to hope that third will make me want to read all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will at least read a third of this book before I leave this podcast.
Well, that's at least 6 chapters. So
y'all will know now that if I decide to leave, you better ask me. Third of the book. Because I've got to do that first.
Hey man, if you do a chapter a night, you'll be done in no time.
Right. Like I said, so I can have a week. So from week to week, I can say, hey y'all, I'm out. I done read 6 chapters.
There you go.
So if I start reading, if in my intro I start saying, "Well, I read unclaimed ashes,"
that's the signal.
Y'all know my time is.
Yeah, I'm on chapter 7 and I'm out. So.
The number of completion. That's my last one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
My last chapter, my last show.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm great. I'll actually be in Atlanta tomorrow.
What? Come through. Come through. How long you gonna be here?
We leaving Saturday after the funeral.
Oh, when is the service? Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you coming to the funeral?
Is at New Beginning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ain't got enough seats at New Beginning.
I was gonna say, can you save me a spot? Because you know my lateness, the lateness in me.
No,
I'm
baby.
trying to be on time.
I will do my. I do my best. See, I'm gonna just go hang out with the audio, audio video ministry. Cause see, I'm always good in the hood up
see
there.
if there's a seat in Miss Cassandra.
All I need to do is just. I can just fold me out a little chair and sit.
I was about to
there with
say,
them, you know what I'm saying?
The extra fold out.
Wow.
Regular seats, because this funeral gonna be packed.
New Beginning does not have the seating.
I thought they was gonna go to somebody else's church. Honestly, I didn't think
about to happen.
Even as big as that sanctuary is, it ain't gonna fit the amount of.
What time does the service start?
Noon.
Yeah.
Noon. Girl, you better be there at 10:30. Your lateness better speak something else Saturday.
Hey, well, in Janessa's defense, from what I know, she's probably not going to be the only late one. I'm just going to say it.
And they all going to be in the parking lot.
And they're going to be outside, right?
Yeah.
You know what, Rudy? I might bring my own folding chair in my car.
Right. They need to turn on the audio.
You better pack a lunch, all that.
All snacks.
Show up by 8 a.m.
Listen.
Get in there and just sit there until the time.
Listen. Is your mom coming with you too?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know a couple of people who coming down. Let's go.
Is Risa coming?
No.
I said she better not, because she ain't saying nothing to me about coming to Atlanta.
Nah, she ain't go. It's just me and my mama.
So I was just saying, I've had enough black friends in my life. I know about CPT. They told me all about it. Yeah, they told me all about it. If you want me there at noon, say it starts at 12:30, and I'll be there. Or say it starts at 11:30. Sorry.
We're going to the. Well, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. So, all right. Well, let's get into it. Yeah, that's all for me. That's all I was saying is that I'll be in Atlanta tomorrow. So that's all I got going on. All right, Terry Wayne, take it away.
Pretty easy this week. Does Satan targets preachers' kids more? Are we worth more to him? Or is that the reason why we're the worst ones? Because we get hit up more by the enemy. Are we more valuable to his cause? Because it's like in Europe back in the Middle Ages. If you want to take over a country, you didn't start with the peasants. You didn't start with the handmaidens. You started with the king's daughter. You know.
Yes, I mean I don't know. I don't know if somebody else wants to start, but I'm definitely coming from a place of I don't know, and here's my assumption. But I definitely don't have anything definitive.
Nobody does. This is all opinion based. Like
but sometimes my just say opinions can still be my definitive answer. Like I'm at least standing on it for me. What I'm saying is, as of right now, I don't know if I have that type of answer for this, because it's like, I mean, I definitely understand where that question and thought process can come from. It's like, okay, so if we are considered the worst, is it because the attack on us is heavier? But then I'm also thinking, like, but are we, we've also discussed, like, are we really the worst, or are we just, looked at as the worst because of who our parents are? You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So it's like, if we're not really the worst, then it's like the devil he out here even Steven. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really coming after just PKs. But now if we are the worst, or whatever the case may be, then I think there's more gauge to say, like, okay, well, maybe, there is an agenda for preachers' kids to maybe, like I said, take out their parents or mess up their parents' name, or maybe even not continue the legacy, or, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. I don't really. And then my last thing, and I'll let somebody else go. I don't also be really giving like the devil that type of credit. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I don't really be thinking like the devil just be out here just, you know, outdoing whatever God got going on. Like I feel like if there is an attack on PKs by the devil, I still feel like that's God allowing that to happen, not the devil saying, you know, outdoing God and saying, "Let me get your PKs." You know what I'm saying?
Maybe God allows it because you've been more equipped than
For sure.
you know what I mean?
I agree.
Than the average kid.
I agree. I guess, but I just want to make, I guess, that distinction clear that even if there is an attack of the enemy on us, it's still in control ultimately by God. You know what I'm saying? Even just say kind of like a Job situation. Like, yeah, the devil was on his ass, but that was still because God allowed it. So, so if there is one, I mean, I would get why there would be one. Like I would see our value, just say against the devil's plan or whatever the case may be, because we kind of got the upper hand. That's just like, you know, LeBron James kids playing basketball or Denzel Washington's son acting. Like if you can already kind of go that route, you do kind of already have that advantage because you have, you know, a person who does it at a high level, you know, at your fingertips. But if you're not trying to go that route in the first place, I don't know if that's the devil or you just choosing a different path. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's me.
So I think you made a good point in terms of like, so I forgot what I was about to say, but in terms of
nobody interrupted you this time. This was
I know
all on you.
It was all on me. It was. I'm getting old. I rebuke that. No, I'm not. But
who are you talking to?
In terms of
right, like who's this conversation with?
Don't worry about it.
Me and myself. So we so about preachers' kids. Okay, let me start over. The devil, I think, attacks us all equally. I think because we are preachers' kid, we are just held, as we talked about before, to a higher standard. So it means more when he causes one of us to fall, or it looks like a bigger fall because we are preachers' kids. And we have, especially in our younger age, we had the pastors in the homes or the preachers in the homes with us. And as Rudy said, that at this point in life, we should be equipped with what we learn, train your child the way they should go. So as adults, we should have already been trained. And so where I don't think that there is a personal attack on preacher's kid, I think the devil just kind of, sprays it out all evenly. I think it just looks worse on us because we are supposed to be the best ones. We're supposed to be the perfect ones. We're supposed to be the ones, like I said, that has an example set at home daily. And so it just looks worse. And so if I can get a preacher's kid to fall, then other people are going to say, well, Rudy does it, Janessa does it, Terry does it, Kellie does it. So then why can't I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G? So I don't think it's a personal attack on us.
Let me refine it. Let me put a finer point on it, on the subject. Okay, so Rudy will get this because Rudy was in the military, right? So you have low value targets and you have high value targets. Now, high value targets back in the old days would be like officers and things like that. And the reason why they would target officers is because it would create more chaos in the dissension of the ranks, right? So if you've got brother such and such or sister such and such, and their kid is strung out, or their kid is, stripping, or their kid is doing this or that, it creates a low value target. Like you get that kid. But if you can take out an officer, or you can take out somebody that's more high profile, that dissension kind of sinks down the ranks and creates more and more chaos. So that's why, like, say, for instance, in the Revolutionary, where they would train soldiers to seek out officers and shoot them first, because, again, it creates more chaos and dissension below those ranks.
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, but I think that's kind of what Kellie is still saying, but just, I guess, taking, because I think Kellie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's saying like there's an attack on everybody. Like everybody gonna get the business from the devil.
Sure.
But when we get the business, our response to us getting the business is what you're saying. It's gonna cause a bigger, just say ripple effect because of who we are. Just like if you know, if you're the pastor, if you're the president, or whatever. Like so I do get that, but I think to Kellie's point, which I kind of agree with, I guess both of y'all to a certain degree, that it's evenly spread out, but because you have that title, that ripple effect just automatically just comes with that territory, as opposed to just say our fathers being under attack. That's more, I think, what you're saying, like the going after that leadership or that official or whatever it can be. But I think if as far as with us, and I don't know, it may be like a just say a futuristic thing, like just depending on the calling on your life being a PK, because some PKs, you know, and I don't mean it has to be preaching. I'm just saying anything, whatever your calling is, even if it's not in the pulpit, the devil may want that to be stopped. You know what I'm saying? Because you may affect that much change in whatever, you know, whatever thing that you do. So, you know, I once again, I think the attack can be there. I think the distractions or whatever can be there. But not only do I feel like, hold on, this is my last thing. Not only do I feel like God is in control of just say everybody, but even more so if you're a PK and your life is in God's hands and you're, you know, and you were put just say in this lineage to even be a part of this Christ-like family or whatever you want to call it. Like I don't see God just having you just out there like, okay, I'm gonna take care of your daddy, but the kids, y'all just be out here, and if the devil gets you, he gets you. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like there still has to be some type of covering even there. You know what I'm saying? Because of the assignment of your father. You feel what I'm saying? So to me, I don't even see God letting it even slide down the line that far to even let the devil just be, you know, whatever the case may be.
Hey y'all, sorry to interrupt, but we have a few church announcements. Follow us on Instagram at The Worst Ones PK. New content coming soon. We also have a TikTok at The Worst Ones PK. No content yet, but continue to check us out. If you want to, when you listen to our podcast, you can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast. Just make sure you type in The Worst Ones Podcast and you'll find us. And when you get there, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you share. Thank you to our 500,422 followers. We love you so much. Now, back to the show.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you want to understand your enemy, you got to think like your enemy. If you wanted to take down a church, if you wanted to take down a religion, if you wanted to take down faith, you know, what would you go after? Obviously, you go after the pastors first. You go after the preachers first. If you can't get them, where do you go next? To the lieutenants, you know? Like,
I hear you.
That's what I would do, you know? If I was trying to do it. Like, if I couldn't get to a preacher or a preacher's wife, I'd get right to their kids. Like, take a good example of somebody on a pillar of righteousness and knock them down in any way you can, just because that's going to create the most dissension in the ranks.
But there's already been a bounce back story from that, you know what I'm saying? Which is
sure, yeah.
We talked about before with TD Jake's daughter. I mean, he's talking about the biggest preacher in the world, and now his daughter's preaching, you know, with him and gaining her own, just say, you know.
I didn't say it would work.
No, right, but no,
that's
right,
what you would do.
No, for sure. But I guess, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, I don't know, like if there's an attack on the PK, I feel like it would be more or less for their own life than it would be just say for their parent who's making them a PK. Because
interesting. That's an interesting thought.
Because you can always have that separation of that's my child and I'm me, and yeah, okay, my child became the biggest dope dealer or whatever. Like, there's plenty of preachers who have kids that are not doing anything affiliated with church. There's rappers out here who, you know, all that, like their parents are preachers. Like, it's a thing, you know what I'm saying? But so you can always have that separation. But when it's ever you doing it, that's when you definitely held to the fire. So I think that if there is an attack on us, I don't think it's to necessarily. I mean, I guess it could be. Maybe if you have like real strict parents and they like, oh, you out here doing this, and now they all discombobulated or whatever, maybe that can throw off the ministry. But I still think ultimately it's the attack on the PK, because the PK has an assignment. And like I said, don't have to be preaching. It don't have to be following their father's or mother's footsteps, but they have some assignment, just say within, the kingdom of God, the will of God or whatever. And that's what the devil's trying to attack. Not so much, let me use he or she to get at their parent. I'll come at the parent maybe a different way.
Well, in that case, it's both. You're doing both. If you can drag them down, you're setting a bad example and you're destroying their prophecy or their providence, But I want to hear Janessa's point. She ain't spoke yet.
I've been trying to.
Well, she was trying to, but I had spoken. Right. Go ahead, though. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that I think the devil or Satan, whatever you want to call him, attacks any point of influence, period. So whether it's the music ministry, television, film, whatever, beauty, anyway, social media, anywhere there is influence, that is where the devil tries to insert himself. Because if you can influence the masses, then you can really affect the change. And so I agree with Kellie in the sense that everybody is attacked in different ways and for different purposes. Maybe her ultimate purpose, to turn people away from God, but he goes through different avenues to do it. As PKs, I don't necessarily think we're the worst, because I feel like there's some things that I've seen in the world that are worse than what PKs do. So I just can't say, oh, PKs are the worst. But I do think that we are looked at, or we're supposed to be held to a higher standard. And it's not even a higher standard to each other. It's a higher standard to God. So that's where I think some of the disconnect comes, like Kellie was saying. So that's it.
Yeah, I think the like even that standard, I think that even plays into just say the perception of whether people think that the devil is after us or not. You know what I'm saying? Because of this standard that was created. You feel what I'm saying? And to your point, Janessa, I mean, at least to our knowledge, and even just speaking of myself personally, my knowledge, I don't really know of any PKs that's done anything as wild as I have heard of non-PKs. But definitely just say in the church realm, like if you are just say Sister Johnson's boy as opposed to Pastor Johnson's boy, it's a difference. Like it just is. You know what I'm saying? Like Sister Johnson boy, like he could be a thug. Whatever. We gonna pray for little, TT or whatever.
He's a low priority target.
But right. But I'm saying, but he's even a low priority in expectation amongst the people who aren't his enemy.
Well, that's what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
The dissemination doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying on both sides, like the attack and even the people who aren't attacking, in just their perception of it, like it's still like you over there. You feel what I'm saying? But TT, Sister Johnson boy could be getting hit the hardest, like the devil on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he really need just say that attention, that help, whatever the case may be. But he not gonna get it because it's gonna go. So low key, the attack or the perception on the PK could be just a distraction to take out all the just say non-PKs, because there's way more of them than it is us. So just imagine if all the PKs, if we make it to heaven, but all the non-PKs don't. It's way more people in hell than heaven. If you just go off of just that number alone. You feel what I'm saying? So it may be just putting the spotlight on us, and we over here, just taking it like, oh, we the worst, whatever like that. But when all reality, we're not, and the people who actually need help are the ones who just say are being ignored, and then just say possibly are actually going
maybe it's not the intensity is so much harder on PKs. Maybe it's just more prolific. Like, you know what I mean? Like the intensity isn't as strong, but he reaches out to every single PK he can get his hands on, even if the intensity is not as hard as it is to say Sister Johnson's son. You know, so
right.
And
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Janessa.
I was just going to say also, you know, in theory, like we said, because we grew up in church and had lived in these households, we should be more equipped to deal with the devil. And I think that's another part of it. Some of us are equipped. You know, the devil tries it and he doesn't win. You know what I'm saying? And so he got to figure out something else to do, try another different type of way. So I think that's something else that maybe PKs do have going for them that maybe other non-church religious groups may not have. You know, we have the tools to combat it, whereas other people, you know, are exposed to the devil and don't know what to do, can't fight back, don't know how to fight back, don't have God on their side to fight their battles for them. So,
that's so great that you said that.
Those people may be easier targets.
Well, it's so great that you said that, because it made me think of like when I said going after officers. Going after officers doesn't mean it's easy. It's harder. It's harder going after the officers on the line. But when you get one, right, the value of it is so much better, because, you know, so like it's harder to get them, but when you get them, the destruction is so much more prolific.
And I can see that in the sense of, right, so between me and Sister Johnson's daughter, Sheila. So she got Sheila and TT. If me and Sheila, excuse me, if me and Sheila engage in the same acts, be it stripping, be it teenage pregnancy, be it whatever, before they talk about I'm a woman, I'm a Black woman, I'm teenager, what school I go to or whatever, the first thing they're gonna go to is that's the pastor's daughter. That is the first place that they're going to go, even as a 35-year-old woman. But if I do something now that goes against what the church says, in some spaces, before we talk about how educated I am, before we talk about color of my skin, gender, sexual preference, any of those things, we're going to get to she's a preacher's kid first.
Right.
And so to the question of does Satan make PKs the worst, again, I think he attacks us all evenly, but just in terms of, you know, like you were saying, Terry, the impact of I got a preacher's kid to have a baby before marriage versus Sister Johnson's daughter, there is a different impact to that. And then especially if I feel I knew you were gonna say something.
I didn't say anything.
If I feel the shame and the guilt, and I give into that, you know, and so if I then don't own the fact that I've had this child outside of wedlock, you know, if my father doesn't own the fact, so if I have a child now, you know, at 35, unmarried, you know, does my father go to the pulpit on Sunday and say, hey, I'm so proud to be, you know, a grandfather again for my, you know, for my daughter? Or do we just skip over it and don't say anything at all? You know, I think that also plays into the impact and the perception, because of course the church is going to know with social media, with gossip, with whatever, they're going to know all of my business. And so does it look strange when the pastor doesn't say anything? Does that heighten or decrease the impact, the perception of whether I did something wrong or right, whether it was okay or not? So I do feel like that's a piece of it too, in terms of being a preacher's kid, that when I sin, that is the first thing that they're going to go to, unfortunately.
1,000%. And especially once again, if you have a daddy like you do, who has notoriety, has a church that has notoriety, like it gets worse then. You feel what I'm saying? Like, cause now people can attach, you know what I'm saying, like the daughter to the man. You know what I'm saying? Because even it's way different if Risa would have got pregnant at 14 compared to Sarah Jakes Roberts. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's levels to that. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Reese is my sister, for anybody who don't know. So I'm saying like it's even levels on that, to that degree. So it's even to say, does TD Jakes and whoever else kids get it? Does the Lee family, do y'all get it harder? You know what I'm saying? The PKs in there get it harder because of also the mantle, you know what I'm saying? The magnitude in which, like does it increase that way as well? You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of a lot of ways, I guess, to look at it. Go ahead.
And I would say yes, and I hope he doesn't mind me telling the story. So my cousin who came on the podcast, and he did mention that he has a daughter on the podcast, and
right.
He not married,
right.
And so when that kind of came out, it was this whole social media frenzy. And of course, the first place they go, they had built a whole kind of page like dedicated to him and him not, whatever. But the first place that they went was my uncle and my aunt. So whose picture shows on this little, spam IG page that's spreading all these rumors about my cousin, my uncle and my uncle and my aunt, the pastor and the first lady. That's the first place that they go, because not only did this guy have this baby out of wedlock, his father is a pastor, and his father is a well-known pastor in Atlanta. And so I do think the impact is great.
And did the music drop by then too? Was the pussy this and all that, was all that out by then?
that was a couple of years later.
Oh, okay. Cause I was about to say, they threw all that in there.
Right. So that was a couple of years later. But right, and that's the conversation that I had with him, even as a preacher's kid, like, hey, like, what does that look like? Right. For you to have this music where you're talking about, having sex and drugs and you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you get to do that? Not that anything you're saying is right or wrong. I'm not gonna give my opinion on that, but just for the fact of who you are. It I think it's the same story that we've had, in the last 3 years, is that the impact is just greater on us. Satan, and I like what you said, Rudy, and I know you've said this a lot. Like, I'm not going to give Satan the power to say like you control or you've done anything special. But is the impact of preacher's kids sinning more than a typical person? Absolutely.
And by the way, you've already made your opinions on all that stuff known in previous episodes.
Right.
I
didn't say nothing new. Right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because it pretty much takes us down that path, because it's ultimately saying like I said in the beginning, if the devil is so-called attacking us, and making us the worst, that's one thing. But if we're not actually the worst, if it's just perception, if it just seems like we're the worst, then is there really an attack on us, or is the devil just out here just being the devil? And,
well, we're a smaller percentage group, so every attack on us feels like a bigger thing.
But that's what I'm saying. But I'm questioning: is there even a attack, like, or should an attack, like, is there an
war.
attack? But I'm saying, is there an attack on PKs? Is what I'm saying specifically.
Wouldn't you?
That's what I'm saying. Not necessarily. I would if the PK had something in his or her future. But I'm saying, I wouldn't necessarily attack the PK for the sake of the parent.
No,
like, to me, I feel like the only way like the PK comes into mind for the parent is if it's a distraction, not so much for their just say credibility or whatever. Like if the child is sick, you know what I'm saying, and the pastor can't think about pastoring because they're taking care of the child or something like that, I could see that throwing them off in ministry. But in reference to my child had a baby out of wedlock, or my child make rap music that's talk about this, or my child whatever, like, once again, we're seeing examples in real life where that doesn't stop the show. So that obviously isn't enough to say, let me use that to take down the pastor. I think is a more or less an attack, if there is one, on whatever future or purpose that actual PK has, is what I'm saying.
And yeah, but you might be right, but I think you have diverged away from what we're saying, which is less of it's not the enemy's attacking your kids to get to your pastor or to get to your preacher's wife. It's not. It's to show a bad example to the rest of the congregation. It's the first of the dominoes to fall, because next thing you know, it's more acceptable for Sister Johnson to watch her son, do whatever, or it's a bad example for the rest of the kids in the congregation. Like, it's just a bad example all the way. It sets a bad precedent for everyone in the congregation, not necessarily just to get after the preacher or the family. It's to get after everyone else in a, what I mean, in a bad representation.
Right, I feel that, I feel how that could be like a gateway to just say a shit. You
take a preacher's kid and essentially turn them into a heretic, because they're helping their bad decisions, their bad choices, their bad life is helping to lead people away.
But once again, for me, I think that just say if the devil is using that, that's because we allow the perception to be there. And I think that's even another purpose of this podcast, is to kill that perception, because I don't think it's the devil using it to create the perception. I think the perception is already there, because even if you're not a preacher's kid, you could be, the president's kid or a celebrity's kid or whoever, you're going to always be held to a higher standard because of who your parents are. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's people, vice versa. Like, there's people whose parents sometimes get held to whatever standard, or even just get notoriety for doing something because of who their child is. So when you have some type of connection to somebody who has some type of position, like, it's going to always be, something. Like if the sheriff's son was caught up in a drug bust, you know what I'm saying? Like, people would look at this crazy compared to if it was just, even if it was just Sister Johnson's son. Still,
it goes both ways.
Right.
Look at Richard Williams. Richard Williams was looked at by most people as a crazy person, but he raised the two greatest tennis players ever. So, but he was looked at as a crazy person forever. So it goes both ways.
Right, but that's a little bit different. But that's not him.
Well, parents can. I'm just saying, parents can influence the lives of the children just as much through their mistakes.
1,000%. But I guess what I'm saying is still, as far as the whole attack, like, I think that if we kill the perception, then there is no attack of, hey, if the PK does it, then hey, I can do it too, because whatever. Like, you already killed that perception, because now you just look at that preacher's kid as a kid, or as their child, or as a separate entity, as opposed to looking at them as, well, everybody who grew up in their house is, perfection.
I think that's wishful thinking. I don't think you can ever destroy that perception. But
I disagree. I'm saying that's literally the purpose of this podcast.
You're more of an optimist than me.
Well, yeah, I think that's a given. We got 2 years of content worth of that.
Yeah.
But I believe in your book more than you. You be just like, unclaimed ashes.
No, I believe in the movie treatment more. So I gotta keep rolling.
But yeah, like I said, for me, this is my closing statement. I don't know if there is an attack or not. I don't know if it's even. I don't know, because once again, the devil ain't that real of a, whatever to me. So I'd be like, I know you there, but whatever you are doing, it's only because God allows it. So whether it's on me, PKs, non-PKs, whoever, ultimately God is in control. So,
let's go around the horn. Janessa, final thoughts.
I said what I said.
Oh, that mic drop.
That's it. Just that. All right. Kellie?
As you stated, I've said the same thing for the last 2-3 years. I didn't say anything profound today, in your eyes. So I'm with Janessa.
In whose eyes? In my eyes?
Right. You said, for the record, you've been saying this.
Oh, no. because he said this is my final thought, final argument. So I thought it'd be fun. We go around and make final arguments.
No, she's aware of that. She's going back to when you had insulted her earlier.
Did I'm sorry, I didn't even realize that I insulted you.
She knows what's happening right now. She's just using this time. She's using this moment that you gave her to go back to that.
I didn't mean to insult. That was not my. I thought this was a safe place and the loving tree. You know? I didn't mean to insult you. If I did,
I want to make sure I don't repeat what I've been saying for the last 3 years.
All right. What, that I'm crazy? That's true. But that's only because I've been attacked by the devil. So it's
way over.
Well, I don't necessarily believe in the devil as a person or a thing or an entity. I just think it represents all the ugliness of mankind and the instinctual nature of human beings. And I think that it does attack preachers' kids more than anybody else, but only because we're put under more pressure all the time. I don't know about you guys, because you guys all kind of came into the mix at different times. But I remember being a little kid. I remember being, 6, 7, 10 years old and being under tremendous amounts of pressure, which you shouldn't be at those ages. So I definitely believe in the harsh negativities of life hitting you harder, faster, earlier. And I think that is the interpretation that I would take away from it, is that life hits you harder, the negative sides of life hit you harder, and that happens more often than not to preachers' kids than people that are just in the church and they just come on Sundays. And but that was the wrap up on my part on this. So I don't know what you guys say.
And I agree. I think I said the same thing.
You did. You certainly did.
You both
both
of y'all been saying the same shit for the last 2 years. I'm tired of this, man. Y'all need to say some new shit, man.
I'm gonna have to look. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up. I have to watch this episode back to see where I went wrong.
Y'all need to watch back all these episodes. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all be saying. Y'all repeating yourself. I'm sick of this shit.
Hey, man, you never know who's gonna watch which episode and who's gonna touch somebody with.
I'm just talking shit.
Because I'm gonna continue for the next week that I read Unclaimed Ashes.
I honestly, if I'm being honest, and I know that I'm not very sappy in general, but I've only done this for the amount of years that we've done it, is only because I hope that somebody listens to this one day, either now or in the future, and it affects them and it makes their life more positive. That's the only reason I do it. We don't gain anything out of this. We do this out of the love of the game, and I wish people that listen to it would hear that. So.
Oh, well, that's the clip. What I don't know what 57
timestamp. Yeah.
Right.
That's the clip. I made the clip. All right.
That's the timestamp. So y'all can stop clipping me.
What's
that? I need your clip from last week.
I'm never gonna repost a clip of myself. So let me find one from last week. Well, this is my one for this week. Terry and his sentimental statement.
Mm-hmm. No, man, because you were supposed to give that to me last week.
Last week.
You can do both. You can do both. There you go. Look. Now you be doubled up.
Where I'm supposed to find the one from last week? That's in the chat.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's also on YouTube. Where you can, how in the middle of this you make the announcement.
Kellie, even I figured out how to post the clips. So
I've been seeing the clips a lot on my Instagram lately.
I am useless with that stuff, but I still figured it out. So
yeah, I've been seeing the clips a lot.
You're 10 years younger than me. You got no excuse.
I said, look at the worst ones popping up on my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You got episode 6.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look at that, you got episode 7 already taken care of.
I'll listen to work tomorrow.
And I think she's only 5 years younger than you, Tara. You're only 40.
I like 10.
Well, she looks 30.
But she already said 35.
I'm gonna go with she looks 30, and we're gonna call it that. You're welcome.
Or Terry, Terry looks 45.
And you look 57.
I take 10 years.
And you look 57. So what's up?
If I'm still this ungray at 57, without dying it.
Well, if you lose the beard, you lose 20 years. That's what I think. But that's just me.
I do lose by 5, probably 5 or 10. Not about I did look a little younger when I was in the military. All right, anyway.
Well, you were younger.
Well, I'm saying I look younger than even the age that I was, not now.
Okay.
You know, I look younger when I was 2.
You know, when I was 20, I looked 20 years younger. It was crazy. That's crazy how it works. Yeah.
Whatever.
Man, still private. Deleted all the posts, but at Princess Kells 51 is where you can find me.
I'm gonna change that to instead of is private, I'm gonna put still private.
Yeah. How are you supposed to be posting these clips if it's private? Come on.
Well, to my 200 followers.
200 is better than no hundreds.
You right, honey. And them 200 gonna see it.
You can find me at JBrianna __. We have fun over there.
Sounds like it. Amen.
You sleep right now.
So that's it.
At Terry Wayne Comedy _ J Rihanna or whatever. No, it's no, just at Terry Wayne Comedy on all social media platforms.
You can't advertise Terry Wayne Comedy and then bomb a joke, right?
Yeah, it's not going well.
Y'all are not helping y'all's case.
Yeah. I've been doing comedy for 11 years. It's been going good for about 3. So give me a break.
I mean, that's the name of the game.
Yep. And Unclaimed Ashes on Amazon right now. Soon to be a motion picture, hopefully. We are working on the screenplay now. So
that's what's up, man. I believe in that. I think you should do it. That would be dope.
Well, it doesn't cost anything. Typing doesn't cost nothing. So
Okay.
I agree with you. All right.
Hey, if they'll make Fireproof, they'll make anything. So
well, they didn't make Fireproof. The people that church made Fireproof. So yeah,
and it was terrible.
But I'm saying you're somebody like if you do what the church did and make it yourself, then it'll definitely get done. That's
who I'm marketing to. Is I'm trying to promote it to those same churches that finance those movies. Finance a good movie, and we'll see what
I guarantee they finance it themselves. I guarantee it.
I know who finances it. It's Christian publication houses.
You mean like you talk about like the distribution, or you talk about like actually paying to make the get?
I'm talking about actually giving the budget. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. My dad was a producer on a Christian movie called Book of Ruth. He's on IMDb. So yeah,
it's official.
It is official.
Oh,
yeah,
official.
It's official. But yeah, he knows the players. So once the script is done, we'll see how it goes.
Praise God.
Well, praise God for a Christian movie that doesn't suck. So
that's to be determined.
If I'm involved, it won't, or you'll never see it. If it sucks, I won't put out something that I think sucks. So,
all right, this has been great. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. We hope you guys have a wonderful week and continue to be the worst, because we definitely will. We out.
Always and forever.
Will not be the worst.
We out.